Coach's Corner is brought to you by Capital Investment Advisory Services. Hello and welcome into another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Mitch Stewart, and joined alongside of me here today is Rail Yard Dawgs head coach Dan Bremner. Dan, thanks for having me here today.
Thanks for having me, Mitch.
So we'll jump right into it. The Dawgs, after a rough start on the offensive end of the ice through the first two games, really kind of found their stretch of scoring this weekend. 8 goals in 2 games on the road. What do you think led to that resurgence at that end of the ice?
I think it was just a little bit of game experience for a lot of our guys. We talked about going into the weekend that we have 7-8 guys that are 20 goal a year plus perennial scorers. I think it was a matter of time, and we found some combinations that the guys are playing with that they're pretty happy out there on the ice. And obviously that offensive punch is something that we were expecting early, and coming game 3 and 4, we're looking for them to carry it on going forward.
You touched on the fact that early in the season, you're going to be trying out a lot of different combinations, try to find which groups of guys work the best for your team. It seems like you might have found something with that Logan Fredericks line with Mac Jansen and Billy Vizzo on either side of him. 5 goals and 5 assists for that trio this past weekend. What did you see from that group, and do you think that you're going to try to keep those 3 together moving forward the best that you can?
Yeah, our line combination from last weekend, I think all 3 lines brought something, but that line in particular, they were just having fun out there. They create the creativity's off the charts, and then when you have a motor like Fredericks and Janny, and then Billy with his vision and kind of playmaking ability, it just kind of fits. So, like you said, we're trying a bunch of different combinations, and happy to see that kind of click.
At the other end of the ice, Austin Rodebush had a bit of a tough start on Friday night. You ended up pulling him and letting Brody Clays get his first action as a Rail Yard Dog, where he performed pretty well the rest of the game. To his credit, Rodebush came back and had a strong performance against Knoxville on Saturday. You've also got Henry Dill sitting on the injured reserve list right now. He's been successful in Roanoke before. How encouraging is it for you to have so many different options that you can kind of put back there between the pipes that you can feel confident in?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great problem to have with all 3 of them being good goalies. Obviously, Rhodey is, excuse me, Rhodey's our go-to guy. He had a bit of a tough start there in Birmingham, but bounced right back, and we'll continue to give him the opportunity going forward to kind of lead us into the victory column.
So that Birmingham game, you were kind of fighting from behind the whole time, first period and second period. The third period, you were able to actually come from 2 goals down and tie that game up, send it into overtime before you lost in the shootout. Do you think that having a comeback like that where you're persevering and it's dramatic late and you end up stealing that point on the road, do you think that's something that you guys can build off of as you look for your first win of the season?
Yeah, I think every game is a big learning experience for our group right now. It's like we're trying to find every way possible to lose before we can win, and sometimes, sometimes getting that first win is the hardest one of the year, and you got to hand it to our guys, their resilience, their push, coming down to the last seconds like that. The energy on our bench was awesome, and we felt like we were going to get that goal. It was going to happen. To see it come to fruition for the guys was huge. Obviously, we got to get the job done and continue building to get to that win column. But it was a great feeling to get that point, hard-earned point.
Well, and it felt like you all took that confidence from Friday night's ending into the beginning of Saturday night's game. 2 goals in the first 3 minutes. You kind of jumped all over the Ice Bears, who sat at home on Friday night. They did not play anybody. But as the game went on, a lot of penalties kind of racked up against you guys, 4 in that second period alone. You were able to kill off the first 5 penalties of the game, but then a 6th in the third period ended up for a power play goal for Knoxville that sent the game into overtime as they came back from 2 goals down. Do you think that tired legs kind of factored in as you all were a man down for a lot of that game in the last 2 periods, and Knoxville was able to kind of work their way back into it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we talked about penalties, and there's some that we got to, we definitely have to be more disciplined on. Or with the tired legs, first 3 weekends of the year, we had 1 game each weekend. That was our first back-to-back. So with a road trip too, kind of understandable for us to be a little bit tired. But when we're racking up penalty minutes like that, and we had a lot of power plays too. A lot of those guys are double dipping where we have them both on power play and penalty kill. So those guys that I rely on were definitely depleted by the third period there, and I could see it in their legs.
You are able to return to Berglund Center for the next 2 weekends, actually. You're back this weekend. How do you feel? Kind of gauge your confidence level as you all come back for a doubleheader this Saturday night and Sunday afternoon.
We feel good. I mean, obviously, guys were super disappointed after the loss on Saturday, which they should have been. But the big message I wanted to get across is, we got to continue learning. We're taking steps forward every game. That was a great start to that game, and kind of learning our legs and understanding how to play with a lead now too. So, not like I said, we're finding ways to lose right now, but every time we do, we're taking a big step forward in how we're learning and everything. And my message to the guys is you continue having that fun on the offensive side, guys. I'm going to teach you the defensive mindset and the defensive structure, and we're going to put it all together here pretty soon.
Good deal. Well, Coach, I'll let you get back to your preparation for this weekend, but thank you so much again for joining me here today.
Great. Thanks, Mitch.
We'll be back with some more Coach's Corner episodes and other content here in the coming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned to our social media channels, our YouTube channel as well, and keep an eye on the Rail Yard Dawgs app that's available through the Apple App Store as well as the Android App Store as well. The Dawgs are back in action at Berglund Center this weekend, Saturday night at 7:05. That's Margaritaville night. We'll have specialty jerseys available for auction on the Dash app after the game, and then back at Berglund Center on Sunday afternoon at 3:05. Thanks again for listening, and make sure to come out and support the Rail Yard Dawgs. Coach's Corner is brought to you by Capital Investment Advisory Services,